In this video, I'm going to show you guys how you can go from having absolutely no fairies captured, such as 17 currently, all the way up to hundreds and possibly even thousands. There is literally a glitch inside of the game that is possible to do at the moment, and I don't know how soon it's going to get patched, but it's very broken, and it's going to allow you to get a ton of those enchanted seed chests and stuff that you can only currently get inside of the shop for absolutely free. In this new update, they actually allow you to get these brand new fairy nets, which I actually have in my inventory, and it looks something like this, and you can craft it over here at the recipe table. It requires 1 sunbulb fruit, a strawberry seed, the harvest tool, as well as 100 fairy points. This tool is really cool because instead of actually just claiming these fairies and getting the glimmering mutation, now if you equip this and click, you can actually collect them, which then they'll be placed inside of a fairy jar, which you can use for multiple insane rewards. Matter of fact, all of the crazy things that got added inside this update require you to get this fairy jar, and I'm going to show y'all how you can exactly do that. The only thing I ask, though, is please go ahead, like, and subscribe. I would very much appreciate it. Let's hit 600k. We just hit 500k, so thank you so much. Let's go for 600. But in order to craft it, like I said, you do need the sun bulb. Everything else is pretty common sense. Strawberry seed, harvest tool, and fairy points. The sun bulb can actually be found inside of the enchanted seed pack, which is right here. And okay, I got a glow thorn, so that's not the sun bulb, but there it is. It's literally an uncommon. And the best part about it, it's a permanent harvest. So when you place it down, you can harvest it over and over again, and you're really only going to need about 1 of these. The way you can get it super easily is by doing the quest at the well. Right over here, if you actually finish it and give it, for example, a glimmering daffodil, which is the quest I have. Let's try to find one at least. Bro, I'm pretty sure I literally do not even have a glimmering daffodil inside my garden. Okay, that is great. But that is all you need. And instead, I'm just going to go ahead and skip the quest. And almost every single time when you do finish the quest yourself, you will get the offering of the enchanted seed pack. You literally are probably like going to get this in one just because of how easy it is. Unless like your luck is good and you can't get uncommons or something. But I pretty poop luck, so as many times as I want it, I can get it. And then you literally plant it down, harvest it just like so. As you can see, I have so many of them, bro. And I just finished an achievement, and I will go into depth about achievements because in case you didn't know, inside the garden guide, if you go to achievements, they added a new section, the fairy event mini achievements. And you can actually get some very limited and cool rewards from this, which I highly recommend you do. But with what I'm showing y'all in this video, it's going to make it a million times easier to finish. But let's now go ahead, just select the recipe, boom, put in the strawberry seed, and there it is, as well as the harvest tool. And then you literally craft it for 100 points, and it only takes 30 seconds. As you can see, I already have a lot of them. I actually have 163 of these guys, and you can use this very efficiently. When the fairy portal opens, that grants you access to that tree all the way over there. It actually allows you to use these fairy jars in order to get a bunch of rewards, and it also allows you to purchase everything from the shop. But we don't have a lot of time because in case you didn't know, the event actually happens for 10 minutes after 30 minutes of the normal fairy event happening. So it is going to happen in 13 minutes, and in 30 minutes after that, that's when the portal opens. In the meantime, you actually want to focus on getting your upgrades for the roaming fairy spawn amount. This is very useful because it is the upgrade that is going to affect your chances of getting this thing. In this update, they also allow you to get a bunch of other stuff other than the fairy net, such as this fairy power extender, which extends the duration of the fairy waves, or this one that actually spawns them in. And there is some for, like, you know, a luminous enchant or mutation, as well as actually summoning a fairy wave. All of those happen every single hour twice now, so you actually don't really even need to purchase those, and I highly recommend you don't craft them because they're pretty difficult to make. Ain't no way the brand new earthquake event is happening while I'm recording, bro. Oh my god, I am so sorry. I cannot hold my screen straight, but there we go. It is happening. Now, in the meantime, we're going to go ahead, wait for a bunch of fairies to spawn, and actually collect all of them that we are able to find. I should mention that there is a quest currently going on, such as me having to get a glimmering watermelon. I highly recommend you guys stick to doing those during the time that you are waiting for fairies to spawn. You're actually going to need a lot of fairy points, and I'll show y'all later on in the video why, but it's going to help you get a lot more of these fairy nets, aka the jars, in the end. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna go to my garden, find a watermelon, which I should definitely have one. I did make an entire video on how you can get these plants, but you literally just buy stuff from the shop. And then let's go over here, offer the plants, and there we go. We're gonna continuously do this, and we're actually gonna choose the fairy points from now on. And the next quest for me is a cactus, which I believe I have at least one. Yes, there it is. Okay, not the bone blossom. There we go. We got the cactus. And the best part about this is while you actually claim these, a lot of stuff is happening. And oh my god, look at that. A fairy appeared somewhere. So as soon as you see that, you literally grab your net, bro, and run towards this thing. Also, make sure you're not actually pressing E, because if you interact with it, it's going to claim the fairy. What you want to do is take out your net and then just click on your screen. There we go. We got another fairy jar. But here we go. Let's go ahead and offer in the watermelon as well as the cactus. And you guys want to make sure you're actually offering exactly what it's asking for. At least try to. It's much better in terms of getting fairy points than submitting any glimmering mutation. And I promise you, I've tested this. But let's go ahead and now click make a wish. And there we go. Once again, we got fairy points. We're always going to choose that. For this glowthorn, by the way, is since it is something new and it's glowing, you actually don't even have to get the glimmering mutation on it. You can submit it as a normal glowthorn. I can't say the same thing about the coconut, though, because you do have to get the glimmering mutation. And for that, I actually need to place down my coconut seeds, which I've never actually placed a coconut inside my garden. But I'm going to go ahead, wait a few minutes for this brand new event to start. And it is going to happen in 8 minutes. So we do just need the fairy event to start. That's when we can start using these nets very efficiently. So I'll be back in 3, 2, 1. And it has begun. And as you can see, instantly, as soon as it starts, bro, literally tons of these fairies spawn. And you want to actually start catching them instantly, because the faster you actually claim the ones that are already on the ground, the more spawn in. I don't know how many waves actually occur every single time the event runs, because the developers have just not ever said that. But from what I know, the more of these you claim, it will come back pretty fast. And also, if you see two fairies that are very close to each other and you claim it with your net, it actually only uses one. It's really cool because it prevents you from wasting your nets. And I think it's a very nice thing because, I mean, you're able to get 2 in 1. Oh, and also just wait till the Fairy World event starts. It's going to get even more insane. They don't actually have a Fairy World event timer that starts, but it is literally right after this one. And there we go. We collected this guy. And just in that one round, we collected over 10 fairies. And this number is going to exponentially increase in a minute. Because when the Fairy World event starts, you can actually go ahead and use your fairy jars to get tons of rewards. Oh, and while we were waiting for the thing, I went ahead and made more fairy nets. So I've actually already gotten more nets than I just used. But while we wait, I'm going to complete more of these quests because it's going to help us ensure that we have a lot of shekels, or not shekels, but fairy points for when the event world actually begins. Now I need an ember lily, a beanstalk, as well as a light shoot. I actually don't even have a light shoot, bro. I do have the seed, though. However, I am not sure how long this thing takes to grow. It is only a rare, so it should be pretty fast. Come on. Yeah, okay, this is very quick. Oh my god, let's go. Okay, there we go. Let's complete it. And for some rewards, you're not really going to get much. But the point is you're getting a lot of fairy points, which is what you need for when you get into that world. Keep in mind, there's only 10 minutes. So you definitely want to watch me do everything that I do before you enter. Because afterwards, if you're not in, it's over. Now, for this, I am going to go ahead and spend some Robux to restart the thing. Because I just don't want to, you know, have to wait for or spend my fairy points. Because we need as much as we can get. Now I need a glimmering tomato. The first few quests are literally so easy to do. All you do is just come to your garden and grab whatever fruit, and it probably has a glimmering mutation. There we go. Offer plant, just like so. We get 3 options. Obviously choose the fairy points all the time. Now we need pumpkins, bro. This one I don't have, bro. I have 33 seeds for it, so I should go ahead probably plant down some pumpkins, but I don't have the seeds, so we're gonna have to spend some Robux. Keep in mind, if you guys don't want to spend Robux for the quest that you actually cannot do, use your glimmering radar in order to just get glimmering plants to skip it. If you get enough points, you can skip the quest in case you don't have some of the stuff. There is no fairy points offered to me on this one. So for this, I'm just going to choose the seed pack because it still has the Wispwing, which is insanely good. This one, I need a Glowthorn and a Glimmering Mango, which is super easy to get. There we go. Let's just get the Mango right there. And the Glowthorn should be somewhere right here. There we go. But now, after I submit this, I'm going to wait and skip till the part that, you know, the event actually starts. Because that's when we can start making use of these fairy jars. But for this one, let's get some fairy points. There we go. I'll be back as soon as it's done. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and keep collecting these quests. Oh, yeah. And also now I have enough fairy points. So we can go ahead and get one more of these upgrades, which should automatically spawn one in. I don't know if it does it this wave or the next one. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have to wait till the next one. I actually do not see any more fairies around the map. The portal is actually about to open for us, though, because the event did end, and in 2 minutes, when this hits 30 minutes, it is going to happen, and we will be able to access this new area. Also, by the end of this video, I'm going to show y'all another method that allows you to do this while you're AFKing overnight. You literally just have to have some fairy nets, and you'll be able to get an infinite amount of fairy jars for free. But that is also why I emphasize that you guys go ahead and do these upgrades, especially this roaming fairy spawn amount. You probably also want to increase the fairy event duration because you will need it. But come on, bro. Only 2 minutes, please. This is the longest 2 minutes of my life, bro. There we go. As you can see, boom, it just hit 30 minutes and a fairy ring has appeared somewhere. And there it is. It's going to be somewhere around the map for you guys. Probably not in the same spot as me, but right here is mine. And we're going to go ahead and enter this because we only have 10 minutes. During the duration of this, like I said, you want to make very big use of it. So we're going to go ahead, grab our fairy nets, and we're actually just going to start jumping around on these trampolines. And actually, you don't really have to jump on the first one because you can climb this tree right here. And as you can see, you will find orbs around the map that actually give you free rewards, similar to the Beanstalk event. On top of that, you can find more fairies inside of here that give you even more jars. Oh, and then you jump down here, grab another one of these rewards. There we go. We got 3 reclaimers. That's actually going to be very good for, like, you know, claiming my prismatics and moving gardens. Then we're going to go ahead and step on this thing because we need to get all the way over to that thing over there. This is what's ultimately going to allow us to get all the way up on top of the tree if you continue to do the parkour. And oh my god, bro, it went up. Oh no, we missed it. Oh no. Okay, I still made it. Woo, that was so close. Come on, give me a good reward. Okay, more reclaimers. Honestly, that is not that good, but we got some event lanterns. And you're literally just going to follow this parkour. If you follow it, it goes across the entirety of this map. And as you can see, more of those fairies spawn up there. That is literally a spawn location for fairies. There will be tons up there. We will go back there in a second to get more. I don't know if more than one can spawn there. So I'm just going to let it, you know, marinate a little bit. Maybe it does. And we got more fairy nets. But yes, as you can see, this stuff is across the entire map. You can even go ahead, climb this massive tree in order to, you know, get access to the stuff all the way at the top. But I don't know if I'm meant to actually be going this way. But let's climb on top of this tree over here because this allows us to get all the way up here, which then we can do the parkour to get to the big tree. This big tree is mostly good for its orbs. It actually doesn't really have many fairies, so you won't be able to get jars from it. But if you need nets, event lanterns, reclaimers, or other rewards such as like crates and eggs, this will definitely help you. Wait, bro, what happened to the color inside of this room, bro? Hello? Why is it like this? What just happened? Okay, but here we are all the way at the top. And yes, as you can see, we get so many more of these orbs. And you have to be careful with like where you jump because you can't come back up here if you go there. This even gives you seed packs. And there we go. 500 fairy points. There's a variety of rewards you can get. I'm not exactly sure all of the possibilities. But after you collect all of those, you want to go ahead, go over here to this fairy jars, dude. And you actually just want to click submit all fairy jars. And when you complete this, you literally get an enchanted chest for free. That's not the only way, though. Because on top of that, you can go ahead and get a bunch of seeds if you actually have a lot of these, you know, fairies collected. For example, for me, at the moment, I can buy this enchanted seed pack. Now, all of these cost fairy points, so it's a little bit scammy. And I don't recommend you do it until you're fully done setting up for this event. But a lot of these fairies are going to spawn around here. And you literally just want to go ahead and run around and collect them and place them into that guy. Here's another one. There we go. That's 3 already. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then after you collect all of those, you literally come back up to this tree and just camp up here, bro. I always get fairies to spawn on these trees. I don't know what it is. Like, even that tree has some. I don't know if there's increased chances up on the trees, but literally every single tree on this map actually has it. But after this event ends, I'm going to show y'all something insane that you probably did not think the developers did, but yeah, they did. And it's probably going to get patched very soon if you don't use it. So make sure y'all don't spread it to them. But we're going to make our way back onto this tree because there's more fairies up here. And you can constantly go ahead and do this over and over again. The orbs don't actually respawn, but the fairies do. And they actually respawn very fast in here. This is the best way to actively grind for these fairy jars. I already have 13 more, bro. And I just started collecting them again. This tree doesn't have any, but if I jump to this one, there we go. There's 2 more on this tiny tree. Then you literally take the pathway of these paths to get to other ones. Most of these trees, though, you can just go ahead and manually climb rather than doing parkour. So there we go. I just collected 2 fairy jars with 1 net, bro. And look, when I jump back down here, you will see a lot more fairies. There's just so many of them. They don't stop coming. This is basically an event inside of another event, and you're able to constantly collect all of these guys and feed it to the NPC in order to get the enchanted chest. Not to mention, you are going to unlock the ability to purchase more of these seeds, and I think there's like stuff you can buy here that is limited to this event. I actually haven't checked the shop out in a while, but yeah, as you can see, you can get this glimmering and enchanted crate. These are just cosmetics, but this wisp well does actually help you inside this event. Oh my god, we only have 2 minutes in here, but if I go to the pets section over here, you can see what the wisp well does and what are you selling. As you can see, the wisp well right here, it pairs with this wisp pet, and as long as you have a wisp well in your garden, pets gain an additional bonus experience per second. So depending on how much that is, man, it could be overpowered. But low-key, I just wasted so much time yapping to the point where I've not been collecting these fairies. But I think you guys get the point. Just run around and collect these. And make sure you probably hold on to all your fairy jars before you actually start submitting. As you can see, I have submitted 33, but I'm not sure if it saves till the next one. So be a little bit careful. Now, when this event ends, it's only going to be 20 minutes till the next normal glimmering event starts. And with that, every single hour for the duration that you have, for me, it's 17 minutes because that's how much I have upgrades. You are able to literally get an infinite amount of these jars just by AFKing. And look, there's 2 more right here. Boom. Let's just collect that. We got 2 in 1 net. Every single hour, if you are constantly running around this map, you are able to get these fairy jars and submit it to this guy and probably get to 100. Like, I guarantee you, yup, there is more on this tree, bro. As I was saying it, bro. Literally, they are always up here. And I don't know if you can actually just stay here in AFK this part, but I'm sure they move around, so be careful. After you collect it in one place, there is a chance they're going to get crowded up in one spot, like all the way over on that tree over there, and there seems to be 2 over there. But as you can see now, the fairy ring has faded, which means you are back up here and you can't really do anything down there. So now what I'm gonna do is quickly wait for this event to happen again. So in 3, 2, 1, and the event is about to begin. Now what you actually want to do before this thing starts is clear out of any fairies that is already down, and I just saw one spawn in. The reason why you want to clear this out is so that this works out the most effectively, because there's going to be some spawning in. And so we're going to go ahead and clear out this guy right here. And then after you do this, you literally want to go back into the middle and go to this right here. So you're literally going behind the fairy godmother, and you are literally just standing like on the first little platform of this tree, or first like trunk little piece, and you're literally going to just spam the button to use the nets. And every single fairy that spawns in from now onwards is going to go straight into your net without actually flying out and being spread across the map. Now obviously there will be some flying around because as soon as this event happens, the game does spawn them in, I believe. And those will stay on the ground, which you can go ahead and manually pick up. Yeah, as you can see, there is some. But as you can see, I just collected 1 fairy jar. So I'm already collecting these fairy jars. All of the ones that would actually... There we go. Look, another fairy jar just collected. You can't really even see it because as soon as it spawns, it's getting collected. But something I highly recommend in order to do this very efficiently is you guys use an auto clicker. I would download this one right here called OP Auto Clicker 3.1. It's very easy. Just Google it, download it, bro. It's completely safe, and it works very well because I can just press F6 on my keyboard. And would you look at that? It's just collecting these fairy jars for me. And since I have so many upgrades, I'm able to get them very, very frequently. So if you don't have upgrades, I highly recommend you do it. This only works during the duration of the fairies event where there is a glimmering fruit chance. And after this, it doesn't really work because there's no fairies actually spawning in from the fairy godmother. But doing this, bro, you could get like, I mean, I have this running for like 17 minutes because that's what my upgrades is. But I could probably get upwards of 100 to 200 an hour. And if you do this for one night, you will literally unlock pretty much every single reward that you can get this update. And that's assuming they don't buff it, which there is always a chance that the developers are going to make some changes for that. If you want, you can also leave this for the moment, for example, and just come over here, run around the map, and collect the ones that did spawn in. This is a little bit beneficial if you're actively grinding, but like I said, you absolutely do not need to do that. Just for you guys to see, the ones that you end up automatically collecting are like those ones that are always flying out and in from her. So let's see. Yep, there it is. See, you can collect those. You would think that you can't collect them, but yes, you can. I don't think you're meant to be able to do this, but for some reason, there is a bug in the game right now that allows you to do this. So definitely be sure to use this glitch to just get an infinite amount of them without having to even participate in the event and all of that stuff. So this is something you can do when you're AFK, and I really only recommend it primarily when you're AFK. But I'm going to be back when this fairy event ends just to show you guys how much more we can get in the next like 10 minutes. I should mention that whenever you're doing this, by the way, your stuff in your garden cannot get the glimmering mutation whatsoever. So that is why I highly recommend you get the glimmering mutation before you start doing this. Something that I actually forgot to mention that, I mean, kind of stopped what I was doing is that you actually need to have at least one plant in your garden for your fairies to go to. Otherwise, they will not spawn at all. Therefore, you will not be able to use the fairy net. For me right now, it says there's no available plants because I don't have anything big enough. So what I'm going to do is just place down a carrot and then they will start spawning in. So let's go ahead and place down our carrot seeds. Boom, there it is. And then we got to quickly go back to the event before this guy flies off, because if he flies off, then we're not going to be able to do it. Yeah, there we go, guys. You can see the fairy jars are working again. It was not working for me a few minutes ago because of what I did. I recommend definitely having more than a carrot because a carrot is probably not going to sustain you for a very long period of time. But yeah, as you can see, he's gone now. And since I missed it, it's going to go ahead and put it on the carrot and it will no longer spawn anymore. Oh, well, never mind. The event just ended anyways. But if you guys enjoyed this video, hurry up and watch this video on the screen right here. I went ahead and handpicked it for you and I really think you're going to enjoy it. So click it fast because this video is about to end. And until then, I'll catch y'all in it. So hurry, click it. Bye.